The story of the scientific revolution is usually told as a parade of great men, Newton, Galileo, Descartes, etched into our textbooks as the fathers of modern thought. But this narrative is incomplete. It overlooks the crucial contributions of those who worked in the shadows, especially women who used their influence, wealth, and intellect to shape this revolution. Why are the stories of these women so often silent? The history of science is not just about discoveries, but about patronage, collaboration, and intellectual communities. Behind every famous man stood patrons, correspondents, and hosts, many of them women, whose roles have been minimized or erased. One of the most significant yet forgotten figures is Queen Christina of Sweden, a monarch who ruled in her own right during a time of immense intellectual upheaval. Christina was not a passive observer. She was a powerful champion of the new science, transforming her court into a hub of learning and discovery. Her story challenges our understanding of who participated in the scientific revolution and reveals how women's contributions were systematically written out of history. By exploring Christina's life, we uncover a more accurate, inclusive picture of this pivotal era. Her journey shows how power, gender, and knowledge were deeply intertwined in the 17th century. Christina defied every expectation, sacrificing a crown for intellectual freedom and dedicating her life to knowledge. Her story is a key that unlocks a hidden history of the scientific revolution, a reminder that progress is a collective effort. It's time to bring these unseen architects out of the shadows and give them their rightful place in science. The 17th century was a world of rigid order, especially for women, whose purpose was seen as marriage and motherhood. Intellectual ambition in a woman was viewed as unnatural and dangerous, a direct challenge to the social order. The public sphere of ideas was closed to women. Universities, academies, and scientific societies barred their entry. For a queen, expectations were even stricter. Her body was state property, her education limited to diplomacy and piety. To pursue knowledge was an act of rebellion. Hosting salons, funding experiments, or corresponding with philosophers meant crossing a well-guarded boundary. The world was not built for women who valued books over suitors and ideas over alliances. This was the world Queen Christina of Sweden was born into, a world with a narrow script for her to follow. But Christina refused to play her assigned part. From a young age, she showed fierce intelligence and an insatiable appetite for knowledge, defying the confines of her era. Her life became a testament to the struggle of a brilliant mind trapped within a system determined to silence it. Born in 1626, Christina became Queen of Sweden at 6, after her father's death in battle. Her father insisted she receive the education of a prince, classical philosophy, mathematics, theology, and statecraft. While other royal women learned courtly arts, Christina studied for hours each day, astonishing her tutors with her intellect. When she took the throne, she saw herself as a patron of learning and the arts, not just a ruler. Nicknamed the Minerva of the North, Christina believed a nation's greatness was measured by its culture and intellect. She used her wealth to attract scholars, artists, and scientists to Stockholm, transforming it into a vibrant center of learning. Christina engaged in serious debate with leading thinkers, her letters revealing a sharp, critical mind. Her devotion to knowledge set her apart, baffling a court that expected her to focus on marriage and succession. For Christina, intellectual ambition was the essence of her being. She was determined to build an empire of the mind. Christina's ambition led her to seek direct engagement with the era's greatest minds, most famously, René Descartes. She corresponded with Descartes, challenging his ideas and inviting him to her court as a cornerstone of her intellectual project. In 1649, Descartes arrived in Stockholm to help Christina establish a new Academy of Sciences. Their early morning philosophy sessions in the cold royal library proved taxing for Descartes, unaccustomed to such rigor. Tragically, Descartes died of pneumonia just months after arriving, a loss for both Christina and the world of ideas. Critics blamed Christina's demands, but her ability to summon Europe's greatest philosopher was a testament to her power and reputation. Her work with Descartes, though brief, solidified her status as a major player in the world of ideas. Christina's unwavering commitment to fostering new science came at great personal and political cost. She proved a young female monarch could shape the intellectual landscape of her time. Christina's ambition was to transform Stockholm into a new Athens, a European center of learning. She sent agents across Europe to acquire libraries, manuscripts, and scientific instruments, amassing a world-class collection. Her court became a magnet for scholars, offering them freedom, resources, and a haven for inquiry. Christina founded a proto-academy, hosting debates and supporting research in anatomy, chemistry, and astronomy. As a woman, her direct contributions were often hidden. Credit for her patronage went to the men she supported. Yet her vision created a unique intellectual community, accelerating scientific progress in Sweden. She understood that science required infrastructure, funding, and collaboration, not just lone geniuses. Her court became a critical node in Europe's intellectual network, where ideas converged and flourished. Though her Athens was short-lived, its impact was profound. Christina showed that a dedicated patron could change the course of science, even if history tried to erase her name. Christina's reign was defined by her refusal to conform, especially the demand to marry and produce an heir. She skillfully avoided marriage, protecting her autonomy and intellectual freedom. Her defiance extended to faith and governance, secretly studying Catholicism and spending lavishly on art and scholarship. Critics saw her choices as instability, proof that a woman was unfit to rule. In 1654, at just 28, Christina abdicated the throne, a move seen as incomprehensible by her contemporaries. But this was a strategic choice. She traded political power for the freedom to pursue knowledge. Moving to Rome, she converted to Catholicism and established a new academy, becoming a central figure in the city's intellectual life. Free from royal constraints, she finally lived as she wished. Her abdication was not failure, but the ultimate expression of agency. Christina chose a life of the mind over a crown. After Christina's death, her intellectual legacy was quickly erased. Her vast library was scattered, her correspondence hidden under the names of male thinkers. The research she funded was credited to men. Her salons remembered as social gatherings, not centers of learning. Historians focused on her scandals, her refusal to marry, her abdication, dismissing her as eccentric rather than brilliant. This erasure was often subtle, a shifting of emphasis shaped by unconscious bias. Christina became a caricature, the unstable queen, the dilettante, the masculine woman. The result was the near-total removal of a key figure from the history of science. The network she built and the culture she fostered faded from the record. Christina's story is a powerful example of how women's contributions have been systematically buried. Reclaiming Christina's story is essential to understanding the true nature of the scientific revolution. Her life reveals that progress depended on patronage, networks, and safe spaces for ideas, not just solitary geniuses. By ignoring patrons like Christina, we miss a huge part of the story. She acted as facilitator, critic, sponsor, and intellectual hub, her work a form of scientific labor. Recognizing her contribution helps us appreciate the collaborative, diverse nature of science. Her story highlights the immense barriers women faced and the courage required to overcome them. By restoring figures like Christina, we create a more accurate, inspiring history of science. The pursuit of knowledge has never belonged to one gender. To complete the tapestry of science, we must reweave the threads that were cut and discarded. Queen Christina's story is a testament to the enduring light of forgotten stars. She was a queen who saw knowledge as her true crown, a patron who sacrificed power for truth. Recognizing her role changes how we see the past and who we honor in science. Her journey reminds us that history is a living narrative, open to re-examination and retelling. Each reclaimed story adds depth and truth to our collective memory. The erasure of women like Christina has impoverished our understanding of science. Restoring these figures sends a message: curiosity and intellect know no gender. The light of forgotten stars, once uncovered, can illuminate the path forward. The stars have always been there. It's time we learn to see them all.